So, for the longest time, I have been searching and refining the vision and mission of my company. And I think the problem is sometimes after coming up with one, I don't find it as exciting anymore. I think it should be. Probably about after no more than 1 week, right? And when I try to search for answers from friends, from the internet, from coaches, all of them seem to be very, very vague. So some say a vision, just a statement that looks nice on paper. Some say a vision is 10 years, 20 years into the future. What does your business look like? How many customers? How much revenue? How big is your team? The more detailed, the better. And some say you don't need a vision. Some say you just need to enjoy what you do. So I was struggling with this for a very, very long time until I met this person called Peter Parker, Spiderman. So before we get into the meat of this video, who am I? So for those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Thaddeus. I run this company called TBA, where we help financial coaches to grow and scale their business with marketing and sales. And I have this channel really just to document down my journey, my learning experience, my mistakes, my wins, my losses in business, just so that I can review them into the future. So today I'll talk about something which I hear very, very often from entrepreneurs when they share about the mission and vision of their company, or even sometimes the reason why they are in this business. And it's something usually I don't really quite understand. Right? So for example, let's say I have a coaching business, okay, that teaches people how to start a business from scratch or how to make money online. I think most people would say the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to impact more people. I want to impact more lives. I want to help people make more money. And I think that's what I usually hear, right? At least for me. Now, I think the problem with this is that aren't there already a ton of people out there teaching this skill, whatever that skill is. It could be speaking, it could be marketing, it could be copywriting, it could be I don't know, digital marketing, it could be e-commerce, drop shipping, Amazon, whatever that is. The problem is, aren't this skill already taught out there, right? Aren't lives already being transformed based on after, let's say, they've learned a skill set from, let's say, from YouTube or from other courses? Aren't these lives already being transformed, right? Aren't these skill sets already being taught for free on YouTube, Facebook, Google, and even other coaches? What happens if your business don't actually exist, right? Will anything change? Maybe not, right? Maybe not. Because if, let's say, your customers don't buy from you or don't learn from you, chances is they might find another coach, another mentor, which eventually their lives might be changed. So that is my perspective. So I think same for e-commerce business. If you're selling shoes, I think it's this whole drop shipping business, to me, I don't know what to say about it, but I think, if let's say you're selling shoes or whatever products you find is trending, there's an existing competition, or maybe even something's a bit unique, but it's more or less the same. Is there really a need for your business to exist other than just making money, right? So I think now I'm not saying that this. I'm not saying this because I think these people who say this vision are fake, or neither do I hate any on these people, but I'm just saying that because I want you, if you're in this place right now who is aware that their vision is somewhat superficial or not something that is congruent or intrinsic, or is influenced by what you see on the internet, on social media, or sometimes you doubt it, is this really what I want? I want you to dig deeper and really understand what is the real impact that only you can bring to the world, so that you can be excited to tackle whatever comes at you, right? And I think this is where you become the most resilient and strongest version of yourself. Think of Elon Musk. Think of the bigger entrepreneurs who have made real impact to the world. Let's look at Elon Musk, right? So Elon Musk, you can see that he has made so much sacrifices in terms of his time, his health, to really work on his vision. So if Elon Musk is just there to make money, I don't think he needs more money, because he is, I think, was one of the richest person, or is, if I'm not wrong, the richest person in the world right now. Depending on when you watch this video. So my point is, how can I unlock that kind of drive that Elon Musk has? Because definitely definitely in terms of how his work ethics, definitely is not working for money. He's probably doing it for another reason. So next I want to talk about why. I'll go back to the intro, right, which is why Spider-Man, why Peter Parker. So if for those, because now why did I come across this example, or why did I decide to bring across this example? Because recently Spider-Man No Way Home is trending. Just want to talk about it. And so if you are slightly older, if you're in 20 plus and above, you would have most likely watched Spider-Man number 1, which is acted by Tobey Maguire, and his uncle's Ben Parker. Back then, it was him fighting in the ring, and they were in a car and they were talking, and Ben Parker told Peter Parker that with great responsibility, no, with great power comes great responsibility. And I've been thinking about that for a while, because if I look at, even beyond Spider-Man, why are all these superheroes sacrificing their time, their effort, putting their lives in danger to fight monsters, aliens, burglars, or like even local crimes? Think of Batman, think of Superman, Spider-Man. Why are they risking their lives, their time, money for Batman, to do all of these things when they can just do whatever they like? What drives them, right? And it's definitely not about money. It's not about fame. That's why they like to hide their face. It's not about that. And I think and back to the Spider-Man movie, right, which I talked about just now. With great power comes great responsibility, and it's not about passion, right? It's about responsibility. Because let's talk about Spider-Man. Spider-Man, why he is driven to save the world or fight crimes, etc., save the people from bullies. It's because he feels that he has a sense of responsibility, right? He has a unique power, he has a unique ability to solve a problem which no one else can. Make sense? So he has a unique ability, unique power to solve problems which no one else can, or it's hard for them to solve. So that is why even after, let's say superheroes lose their loved ones, they still go back to fighting for the crimes, fighting for the greater good, right? So they have a sense of moral responsibility because they're blessed, or they're given that power. They're blessed with given the resources, and because of that, they feel a sense of responsibility. So if I look at back into business, how can we unlock that kind of drive? How can we unlock that kind of willingness to sacrifice on the business? And it's really not about passion. It's not about making money. It's not about impact. Okay, but it's more about responsibility, because there is no one else that can solve the problem as good as you do, right? Or there's no one else that can solve that problem which maybe no one is aware of, right? And I think that is the key to unlocking that kind of drive. Let's say if I look at Elon Musk or the bigger entrepreneurs, I really look up to him. But I think that, so back to my point, I think the key here really is not about passion or whatever, but it's responsible. Because if I feel responsible for something, right, and if I don't do it, if I don't try to solve that problem, if my business isn't going that direction, then the world would be worse off, right? And my point here, it's beyond making money. It's beyond just solving problems. It becomes a responsibility, right? So in your existing position and your past experience, in working, in life, in relationships, in whatever the case might be, what is your unique perspective or view? What is your unique view? What is utopia to you? What is the wrong that only you can right? What's the wrong that only you can fix, right? And that is something that is worth pondering about, because I think life is short. Life is very short. Definitely want to do something meaningful. We don't want to be chasing things which we think we want, because most people don't understand what they want, because we're heavily influenced by social media. I mean, you can just study all the behavioral science. You know that people chase things which they don't want, or they think that they want, but in reality, in objectively, that is not their actual desire. So I think the key here really, it's or my point which I'm trying to drive here, it's you need to have a, like everyone, if you want to unlock those willingness to sacrifice for something bigger, you need to find not a passion, I think. I mean, passion definitely helps, but I think the bigger thing beyond passion is a responsibility. What is the only thing that you can do that no one else can? And I think when you see things that way, you start taking on more responsibility, you start taking on bigger problems, and as a result, I think in business, definitely you would be more innovative, you'd be more problem focused rather than competitor focused. And I think also once you see things from this perspective, I think you would have set yourself up for success, because as Peter Thiel says, he's the co-founder of PayPal, which eventually sold to eBay. Now the CEO of Palantir, and as what he says, he also wrote his book called 0 to 1, and what he says in his book is that competition is for losers. So you don't want to build a business that is highly competitive, right? Because you're almost always compete away all the profit. So think about the restaurant industry. It's a big market cap. I'm not sure what's the market, probably $1 trillion, or if not billion, multi-billion dollar market cap as a whole, the whole industry. But if I take a look at most restaurants, most have very, 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 very thin margins. Most go out of business within that few months or few years, right? So point number 2 is that you get to wake up every day to work on the business. I'm looking back at Elon Musk for this one. If you watch some of his interviews, especially about SpaceX, you understand the reason why he started this company, right? And it's not because he wants to make more money. It's not because he wants to stand out or he wants to find a unique business model. In fact, the space industry is one of the hardest business models to adopt, right? Because it's very, very capital intensive, right? So, but because he felt that he had the responsibility to do so, he felt that he had the capability and no one else was working on it. In fact, the rocket, he mentioned, I think one of his videos, the rocket and space industry was going downhill after they brought the first person to the moon, and afterward the progress of space travel, this whole space exploration thing, it just went downhill after that. So, and you can see how passionate he is in his businesses, both in SpaceX, Tesla, and mainly his companies that support his overall mission of renewable energy. And I think this is something that definitely is not for money, definitely is not to stand out, but it is something that he feels that he is responsible for, right? And so I think what I've covered, I mean, interestingly, if you look at business in this manner also, somehow it aligns with what Peter Thiel says about business in his book, right? And many of these big successful companies start out with a contrarian view, right? And of course, if let's say you try to ask yourself this question, whereby what's the unique perspective which I have that no one else has, because I am in this unique position, and hence I'm responsible to solve this problem that I see. You start definitely seeing things, or definitely start to have a contrarian view, right? In some sense, a view which is not widely supported, or a view which is not widely held. And you want a business idea whereby 80%, so he talks in his book, you want a business idea whereby 80%, I'm not sure if I'm misquoting here, there's a rough estimation. He said you want a business whereby majority of the people, maybe 80% of people would say that this is a bad idea and you should do something else. Because when this happens, you'll find yourself a spot where nobody would want to compete with you. And it becomes much easier to create a monopoly this way, right? I mean, think of Airbnb, Tesla, PayPal when it first started, when there was no online processing company. Google, Facebook, Amazon. Amazon was the first online bookstore, right? Think of all these revolutionary companies. Start out with a contrarian view, right? So in summary, I don't think there's anything wrong with starting a business for just monetary reasons. I think at the start it's fine. That's what I did as well. But I think as your wealth starts to grow, I just really believe there has to be real actual meaning in the thing you put your time and effort into. Our life is on earth is so short. I think it'll pass by in a blink in the blink of an eye. And just so, to me, I think it's really scary how time flies. Just yesterday it was start of 2021, and today it's 97 days away from 2022. So I just want to pose this question to you. Hopefully it might give you better direction, because I think I don't exactly have an answer right now in terms of what is the mission and vision of the company. I'll have that in a separate video, but I think it gives me a better direction at least, right? And now I think it all makes sense, right? And I think that gives me a sense of peace, that I know that, okay, I this is the direction which I should go into. So I think the question which I want to pose to all my viewers here, especially if you're an entrepreneur, or even if you're just someone who intends to start a business, or even scratch that, maybe if it's just anybody who's watching this video, what is a unique position you are in, or a unique perspective that you can have, that you want to impose on the world or the people around you? Because without it, they will suffer. So what is that? So let me just repeat it. What is a unique perspective that only you can have, that you want to impose on the world or the people around you? Because without it, they will suffer. So I think that gives meaning to business, or meaning to life, or a mission at least in life. It gives you a sense of responsibility, which then of course pushes you to challenge things, pushes you to improve things, and in the business context, it drives you to really make the world a better place and find meaning rather than just money. So I think that's all for this video. It is a interesting thought that I had for the past 1 week, and I was also sharing this with my team the other day, and we will be actually discussing a clearer vision and mission for the company as we go along. I'm really excited to see what is the impact that I can have. So we think of ourselves as now superheroes, right? What's the superpower that we can have that no one else can solve? Yeah, I think this gives us, apart from meaning, it also gives us a unique advantage in business also. So that's the end of this video, and I hope you enjoy it, this session. And if you like these kind of videos, do like and subscribe. I'll be releasing and posting videos every Saturday. So catch you soon.